What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Di-Luchito, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. Now, the NBA Finals, both Game 1 and 2 have already started or have ended, and there are a lot of things that I kind of want to talk about what I think is going to happen, talk about some of the flaws or some of the ups and downs for both teams, and I just kind of want to talk about the finals in general and just talk about what's going on with it. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So first off, I want to talk about game 1. So game 1 was a hell of a stretch for Indiana, and that was a really interesting game to watch during the second half, specifically because I remember when I watched the game, um, I saw OKC have a 15-point lead at one point, right? And then there it is. Indiana somehow comes back in the fourth quarter and ends up beating them within 1 or 2 points, I think it was, off of a Tyrese Halliburton jumper. Now, this is something that I kind of want to talk about a lot as well, and it's Tyrese Halliburton. This guy throughout these playoffs has been going nuts, I tell you. Like, he's been going nuts. Ever since the entire world or the internet has called him the most overrated player in the world. Or sorry, not people. He has gone on a complete tear throughout these entire playoffs. I mean, he took out the Bucks, he took out the top seeded Cavs, he took out the Knicks, which honestly, if I'm being real, I had my money on the Knicks going to the finals this year. It's unfortunate, but I can't really be mad because it was a fun series to watch, especially with that game 1 where Tyrese Halliburton did the choke sign, like how Reggie Miller did it in the Garden, and that was really funny. And the funnier part about it was the fact how he was no sorry that it wasn't even a three, it was a 2 pointer. That was the funny part about it. And yeah, and OKC. Now, here's what I thought what was going to happen. So it was going to come down to two teams and only two teams. It was going to probably come down to the Nuggets and the Thunder. Those were the top teams that I feel like if either one of them won their prospective series, well, they played against each other. If one of them was going to, like, if either one was going to win, then they were going to head to the finals. I mean, it was kind of obvious, you know. Uh, the Nuggets, they were going on a rampage, and Jokic, he was playing really good. Russell Westbrook playing some of the best role-playing basketball he's ever played throughout the season and the postseason. Aaron Gordon hitting those two clutch shots, and Jamal Murray. I think he apparently was sick one of the games, uh, and then we can just move Michael Porter to the side because let's be real, it's Michael Porter. And then like the Wolves Thunder series really wasn't that interesting. I mean, we all knew who was gonna go to the finals, and yeah, and that's where we end up in game 1. Uh, now this is kind of something that I want to talk about from OKC side of things. OKC has a lot of depth. They have a lot of depth, but a lot of their guys are still young and up and coming. Like, a lot of them are still up and coming. Um, Chet Holmgren in game 1, I saw the stats. He had 6 points and like 6 rebounds or something. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound great. Trust me, again, in a finals game, that is not okay. But you got to give him some slack as well. This is technically his second year. Well, actually, technically it's his third because he was drafted in 2020 or 2022, and now he's playing this year. But he missed his 2022-23 debut, so he debuted in 2023-2024. You kind of got to give him some slack. It's like he's still young. He's still like he's still he's in a sophomore year, so you kind of have to give him some slack in that way. And Alex Caruso, you know, he's one of the guys that can definitely help the young core in this finals run. He can definitely guide them because he's the I think he's one of the only players. Maybe he might be the only player on OKC that's actually been to the finals before. So that's a little advantage that they have as well. And Isaiah Hartenstein, I think he had a double double that game as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just being the best version of himself that he can be with 38 points that game. uh, and yeah, and moving on to Indiana now, Pascal Siakam. You know, I'm a guy who has been watching the Raptors for a long, long time, and to see Pascal Siakam playing as well as he is right now in Indiana, you know, I I'm honestly really impressed how he's still played at a high level like this, and how he was an All Star this year, and how he's been scoring and rebounding and doing a lot of things very, very good. And he's he's definitely found where he can fit in Indiana's offense and defense, all that uh, all that bull crap and whatnot. So it's definitely cool to see that. And Andrew Nemhart, he's playing pretty good role playing basketball. I saw him in game one clamp up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at one point. So and they actually know each other in real life because they both are Canadian. So that's actually kind of fun to see. And who else is on there? Miles Turner, can't forget him. I think he's on his last year with the Pacers. Is he on his last year? I don't know. You can let me know, but in the comments. But I think he's in his last year on his deal in Indiana. So that'll be interesting to see what happens this offseason. But again, he's still playing pretty good basketball. Game two, I think he had an insane poster. I'll have to watch again, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So that's cool. And this is a little interesting to me. Game one of the finals this year was apparently the least viewed finals game since like recorded in 1988. The least amount of viewership on TV like ever. And that's kind of bad to see. Like, not even gonna lie, that's really bad to see from the league and from the finals itself. Like, I mean, it's the finals. A lot of people should be watching this, but they're not, and that's kind of disappointing to see. As the NBA is probably starting to lose its popularity, and its fan base or like popularity has dropped by like 40% since 2012. So I don't know. That's really bad to see, and the league has to figure it out, how to like fix this, and how teams can fix the way they can get viewership back up and whatnot. Moving on to game two, as probably we all saw, or at least most of us saw, OKC won by around 18 something. It was between like 15 and 20 points or something like that. They won around that many points, by that many. And, again, it's not really a surprise by OKC. They probably figured it out after game one, realizing, oh, we got to step up. Indiana, they are more than meets the eye, right? And they gotta really work for this. And Indiana, this is kind of disappointing to see from them, mainly because of the fact how I'm pretty sure not a single player on there scored 20 points. Not even Siakam or Halliburton. that's kind of disappointing to see from the two star players. Game three, they're definitely gonna need to step up because if they lose game three, then their season is in jeopardy, and well, their season is at stake. And if they lose game four, then that might just be over because if they lose game three, they sure as hell need to win game four in order to even the series out and have a higher chance at beating the OKC Thunder. But again, OKC is they are the favorites to win the finals, and you know they are a really good team, and Indiana's still a great team, but OKC probably has more depth, and that's probably why they're gonna most likely win this series. But Indiana's gonna need to is gonna and they're gonna need to and probably give them a hard time throughout the next few games or however many games they have, and that kind of stuff. One thing that I found very very hilarious was during game two. I noticed that they actually finally decided to add the finals trophy to it. Now, Adam Silver and all the other people behind the scenes probably heard all the backlash like, oh, how the NBA is starting to get lazy, it's starting to lose its personality. Where's the finals logo? Why is that all missing now? Because me personally, I love to see the finals logo on there, especially with the trophy. Like during like the mid 2000s, I like to see the trophy on there. That was really cool to see, and that really gave the NBA an identity throughout the finals, and it really made it interesting. And they go out and just bring out the Larry O'Brien trophy just on like the little side, and they must have been like, "Damn, here, go ahead." Jeez, sorry we pissed you guys off. Like it was kind of funny, but again, you gotta do better than that. You gotta do better. You could have at least put the finals trophy behind the logo. That would have made it a little bit more interesting, or just put the finals saying like the finals phrase on the court. Anyways, that's kind of my 2 cents from the NBA finals so far. you know Hopefully throughout these next couple of games it's going to get a lot more interesting. I do hope it gets a lot more interesting. Indiana, they try and find a way to figure out how to stop Gilgeous Alexander, Holmgren, and Caruso, Jalen Williams, and Dort as well. But he's more of the defensive guy, Lou Dort, so they gotta kind of worry about him on defense. But hey, that's just my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. Hopefully, maybe you guys could let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the finals so far. If you think it's gonna get interesting, if you think it's kind of boring so far, or if you think it's just just another one of those 3-point shooting contest finals. You can let me know down below. Anyways, without further ado, that's the end of it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.